is going to be episode 61, assembling front bumper. And this is on our 2012 Malibu LT. This thing has had a deer hit to it. So I'm just working on a few different things here, guys. This is a little frustrating on my end because I'm fighting Streamlab. So what I'm trying to do is set this up so that I can actually still do some of the stuff that I can do. Unfortunately, it's all kind of based on, give me a second here, guys. So it's all kind of really based on what I'm trying to do with the new software, guys. Trying to get this thing set up for you guys. I wasn't planning on going live with this setup, but I don't really have a choice here. I've noticed my views falling off a little bit on my live streams because I was trying to do it via my old setup on my laptop or on a new setup with my laptop and a webcam, and that's just completely failed. So I'm actually just trying to set this up for you guys so I have everything. There we go, got all messages. So again, guys, welcome to our new time, which is Sunday at 1 p.m. Central. What we do here is automotive repair. I show you guys how to fix things in your own garage. I give you guys tricks and tips. And at the end of every basically podcast, I do the news. So I'll break down exactly what's going on in the news. Bill, good to have you in here. So what I got going, Bill, is I currently am streaming off of my phone, but I'm trying to watch it via the YouTube studio as well on the other side. That way I can maybe see the chats a little bit better. I definitely need to figure out this streaming software because I need to be able to stream vertical, where right now on the PC I'm only streaming horizontal. It's really affecting the views and kind of limiting it. One of the guys yesterday had recommended that I try Streamlab, so I was in the process of setting up Streamlab before I started this. I'm going to have to play around with Streamlab a whole lot more because I do like the fact that I'll be able to stream to the two different programs, but right now I'm not able to. So thank you guys for the like. Again, guys, we're just starting out today. We're going to be assembling the front bumper for Malibu steel. This thing took a deer hit late last year. And when it took that deer hit, it destroyed the front bumper, all the grill pieces. What you guys see behind me, we've already unwrapped this in the first video that was yesterday. And I do have some updates for the two mods that were in yesterday. I abruptly had to end the stream. And because I abruptly had to end the stream, I basically had to kind of pull back a little bit. My wife got hurt. So she hurt her wrist, she fell down, I had to go help her, we took her in, her wrist is okay. So she's sorry about disrupting the stream, but to be honest with you guys, you gotta take care of family. It's what you gotta do. It's the most important thing. So I'm glad that I was actually home and I was able to help her and get her to the emergency room. Luckily, it's a lot of bruised muscles and no broken bones or anything serious. So we're really thankful there. That was awesome. But let's go ahead and discuss today's topic a little bit before we get into it. I'm going to work on Streamlabs for you guys because I think Streamlab is going to be a better way to stream in the future because I'll be able to use both platforms, both horizontal and vertical. If you're watching on a cell phone, you won't really catch the program if you're watching it and I'm streaming horizontal. So that's why I need to figure this system out. I'm looking here. If there's any mods in, guys, make sure you guys chat in. I'm going to drop something here on the computer to see if you guys can see it on this end. Okay, so there's a little delay when I type things on the computer versus what I'm doing on the phone here. And the computer is lagging a little bit behind, probably due to latency issues that I got to work on. But ideally, I want to be able to use my webcam setup. It does higher definition videos. It looks better. So that's the route I want to go for the future. But enough with that. Guys, let's get into today's topic. So when you're assembling these front bumpers, first of all, let's talk about how you get them. You can get them online real easy. All you need to do is go to either Amazon or eBay, and oftentimes there's a seller that will sell it to you, and it's already a painted part. Now, in order to do that, though, you're going to need your paint code. Depending on your vehicle, that paint code is either going to be located in the door jamb on the driver's side, in the glove box, or underneath the lid on the spare tire holder. Basically, you need to look for the tag that has all of the identification information on it. At the bottom of that tag will give you a paint code. Probably start with a WA number, and that'll give you your paint code. Once you have that paint code, you can go online, either Amazon or eBay, look for your part, look for someone that'll sell it to you painted, give them that paint code. So make sure you purchase it under that paint code. Once you've purchased it under that paint code, you're going to receive it in a box. The reason I'm covering this is I kind of covered it yesterday, but I want to bring you guys up to speed on what's going on. Bill, give me a thumbs up or a 1 if everything's sounding good. I want to make sure there's no echoing before I get too far into it. How you doing? Good to have you in here. So for my mods, guys, tell me, is the audio good? Give me 1s if the audio is good. 2 if you guys are getting feedback. If you're getting feedback, it's because of my computer, and I'm going to have to shut that down. I do like having it up, though, because it would allow me to reply to chats. Okay, we got a thumbs up. Awesome. All right, I didn't want any feedback, but I do want to be able to use the computer to reply back to messages and stuff like that. Plus, it gives me another screen to be able to see exactly what's going on in real time. For the future, I'm going to work on it, guys. We're going to get Streamlab working so I can stream on both and just use my computer. I really would want to go that way. It's going to give me a better internet connection and better quality. So, when you guys receive these parts online and they're shipped to you in a box, the first thing is you're going to need to open that box and let that bumper relax naturally. Don't force it, because you'll crack the brand new paint. Just let it relax open. Make sure it's at room temperature, so don't leave it in extreme cold. Bring it in where it's going to be warm. Let it relax on its own. Once it's relaxed, you can then take it to the garage. Now, what you're going to see is I have a very soft blanket that I'm supporting the bumper on. The reason for this is to avoid any scratching on that bumper surface. So this is just the assembly process. As I assemble it, it's going to stay here, but once I go to put it on the car, I'm going to need to be able to support the bumper without it touching the ground, because if it does, it's going to scratch that paint. Trying to keep the scratches off of it as much as possible. Guys, we got 6 of you in here. Make sure you guys hit that like button and that subscribe button. We're trying to grow the channel this year. We have merch that we're going to be trying to bring to you guys here at the end of the year. So what you're seeing is my film stuff that I have for my merch. Let me grab the kind of the final proof of what the merch is going to be. At some point here in the near future, I'm going to ask you guys kind of what colors you would like to have this stuff in. We are looking at hoodies. We are looking at just a normal sweater without a hood. And we're also looking at zip-up hoodies for this winter. So there is a bunch of stuff we're looking into. Our first offering is going to be hats and shirts. Hey, I have some advice. Go ahead and chat that in down below. What do you think? And then we've got hello, brother. Good to have you in here today. Okay, honestly, Cast, I'm not trying to peddle anything. I know guys want some merch. I've been asked for it. So I'm going to try to bring some merch for you guys at the end of this year. What I'm doing today though, is we're going to be assembling this bumper for this Malibu. So I'm going to show you guys all the pieces, how to put it together, get everything figured out, and get it all laid out for you guys. My goal is to have this bumper assembled so that next week we can put it on the car. Chevy Speed says hi. Hi, good to have you in here. MK asks, what year is it? This is a 2012 Malibu LT that we're going to be assembling the bumper. So we're going to get into all the pieces and everything like that. Like I said, let me grab the merch quick so you guys can see it. This is just a teaser. At some point in the future, I'm going to ask you guys what colors you would like to have. So it's a little different than what I'm wearing because I wear it so it stands out on film, but the newer design is a lot less bulky. And it is a pretty good brand too. It's Adams for the hat, if you guys want to look that up. And then Bella Canvas is going to be all of the clothing wear. So shirts, hoodies, all of that. Like I said, this is just sneak peek, guys. We don't have the store set up yet. We're going to probably do a Shopify store. And when we do the Shopify store, then we're going to be able to actually be able to ship stuff out. So, Wellington, good evening. You must be from overseas. It's good afternoon where I'm from, but good evening for you. MK says, I'm going to be 25, going to start a mobile mechanic repair shop soon in PA. So, if you're going to go mobile repair, remember, try to get everything set up before you start. Make sure that your billing is professional. Make sure you got professional business cards. Make sure that you come across really professional. Mobile mechanics can get a shady rap because there is a few out there that are peddling bad service. So make sure you do really good service. Make sure you service your customers really well. The first 5 customers are really important because they help get your name out there. So make sure you really do take care of them and you do the best that you can to service those customers. So guys, as you can see, I don't just do the repairs in my garage. I do help other people that, have stuff that come in here too. So if you guys got questions, go ahead and get them out there. My mods, you guys should be in here. If I miss any questions, make sure you guys re-highlight those so that I get them caught and I can get them read on screen and help you guys out. I don't ask for super chats, but if you guys do give them, I really do appreciate it and I shout you out for it. It's not what I asked for, but it really does help the channel, and we are trying to grow this year. Like I said, we want to bring in a merch store. We have some big projects coming. I also want to get an engine, completely tear it down, and rebuild it for you guys here live, which our new time is now Sunday at 1 p.m. Let's go ahead and start talking about what we got done yesterday, and then let's go ahead and continue the process of reassembling this bumper. So, we started yesterday by installing the emblem. The emblem has double-sided tape on the back. I peeled all of the red clear off of it so that the sticky adhesive was there. I then also put a lock nut on the back. Let me grab one. Now, the one I installed is slightly bigger than this. This is designed to cut down onto a stud. You're going to see something like this in a little bit when I go to install another piece on this bumper. It uses these clips. These are designed to cut down onto a stud that sticks out of the plastic, and it holds tight on the back side. You might ask, why did I do that with this batch? Here's the thing. if you're not going to buy factory badges, what happens to these is they fall off if you try to re-put double-sided tape on. They don't stick very well, they don't stay very well. By adding this, I ensure that the only way that badge is coming off is if I take that nut off on the back side. And the only way you're going to pull that off is to pull the whole bumper off. So, yes, it's annoying if I ever need to remove the badge, but at the same time, I'm guaranteed that that badge is not just going to fall off because of the double-sided tape. So, now that we've got the badge explained, we got everything dewrapped, the next thing we need to do is mount our license plate frame. Fortunately, in the state that I live in, it's a two-state plate, meaning I have to have two license plates. Here's my license plate bracket. This is a brand new one. I chose to go new for obvious reasons. By going new, I was guaranteed that I wasn't going to have a piece of plastic that was already busted. And when I put this on, it's not going to come off. Even if I hit something, it would have to tear the bumper in order to get it off. Allow me to explain. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to install a large washer and bolt that is going to go through the front side like this on the back side of the bumper, because this will go through this bumper. On this side, I'm doing another washer right there, another washer, and I'm doing a metal lock nut. Now you might ask, why did I pop for the extra money for this metal lock nut? Allow me to explain. There's a couple of different ways to use lock nuts. Guys, make sure you hit that like button. We got 16 of you in here. We're really trying to grow the channel this year. It all helps with engagement. So the more likes we get, the more subscribes we get, the more I can do for you guys. The more content I can bring out. I reinvest everything we make currently for this into this business. So I'm doing this to reinvest back into you guys. Better quality equipment, merch, stuff like that. Yeah, I saw your comment there. Okay, so let's explain these metal lock nuts. You can get them in a couple different styles. This one's a full metal lock nut. It's designed that it has dimples onto the metal part that actually cross thread down. Hey Jay, good to have you in here today. And I'm trying something a little different, Jay. So the metal lock nuts are the best way to go if you don't want to take this apart. Here's the reason why. When you use the plastic nylon style, what happens is that plastic nylon style deteriorates over time. Meaning that since this is on the back side of the bumper, we're not going to be able to access these. I don't want that plastic deteriorating and falling off, because I don't want my license plate falling off and then I have to buy a new plate. The other way I could go is a lock washer, meaning I could put a washer on here that locks the nut down. The reason I didn't go with the metal lock washer, it's just one more part that I had to buy, so I just went with the straight up metal lock nut. This is the best way to go when you're mounting a plate and you want to make sure that it ain't going to fall off. Again, you can use self-tappers. A lot of people do, the dealerships do. Here's the problem with that. You have the bumper off, you can do it correctly. They don't have the bumper off at the dealership, so they're going to be putting self-tappers in it because they don't have to peel the bumper apart to do what we're doing. The problem with self-tappers is you hit the bumper just right and that front license plate is gone. When you do it this way, it's going to have to tear the bumper off in order to get the plate off. This is the way it should be so that you don't have lost license plates. Got a few chats, I'll get you guys caught up. One of the mods want to handle chosen one for me, please. Crowded Music says, hey bud, hey, good to have you in here on this Sunday. Bill, no front license plate in Arizona. Yeah, I do know that, and I wish I could relocate down there because I do like the climate a little bit better. As you guys know, Silver Swine came from Arizona. It was owned by my stepdad. We brought it back to the state that I live in, and it's been here ever since. But that truck has zero rust on it. Absolute zero rust. So one thing I like about Arizona. The bad thing is the sun gets really bad and can bake the paint and wreck the clear coat. Luckily, he kept it in a garage most of the time. So the paint is in really good shape. So I got lucky there. But yeah, Arizona's nice. 9 months out of the year, guys, Arizona's a beautiful place to be. Those 3-4 months are brutal. I mean, that temp is no joke. You are carrying water, not a big bottle of tea that you guys see me carry. So you ain't doing this down there. You'll dehydrate really bad. Octo says, do you think you're talking to children? No. The reason I do it this way is not everyone has the same automotive knowledge. Some of the pieces I give are more advanced, some of them are not. So when I'm doing some pieces, I just try to explain everything from a base level so that everyone can understand it. I'm not trying to dumb it down for the guys that already know, but we're going to get into the assembly part here in just a little bit. We're going to be drilling holes in our new bumper because we got to mount this. I'm in PA. It is bad here. Yeah. Could you round except summer? Or cold year round except summer? Yeah. You guys gotta, or like Monk is saying, when you're near a big body of water, it stays pretty cool. I'm in the Midwest, so that doesn't really work for me. Unfortunately, that is one of the downsides of living in the Midwest. It's hot and humid in the summer, nasty, and then you get really cold months, January, February, March, and then it kind of comes back up. But yeah, when it gets cold, it's brutal cold. There is no doubt about it. But okay, guys, I've explained what this is now. I think we kind of understand where we're going to be going here. Let's go ahead and get into drilling these holes in the bumper. So I have found a drill bit that works. That is slightly bigger than the bolts. This is what I want because I want to be able to slide it through there. What I've done is I've applied tape. The reason I've applied this tape is so that when I'm drilling it, I don't blow out the paint. The tape will actually help keep it down. And what I did is I put black dots where I need to put my drill bit to drill the new holes. You do want to be somewhat close. If you're trying to do a tight fit on the license plate with the bolts, you do need to be really precise. If you're not going to be that precise and you need a little bit of slop in there just to get it to line up where you want it, you can drill the hole bigger. Just my advice. I try to keep the holes a little bit as tight as I can. That way I don't have as much slop in the license plate and it's not rattling around. You can fix a little bit of that by tightening it up when you put the plate on. So I'm going to go ahead and plug my drill in. And then we're going to start by drilling some holes in this bumper. And then we're going to start putting some grill pieces in here. Okay, so one trick I like to do is if I have my cord wound up like this from when I bought it, what I do is I fish my extension cord through and then I plug it in because now it's less likely to come apart. So, all right. Drill safety, obviously, wear glasses, guys. You know the rules. I don't have to tell you this. And don't hold on to the bumper with your hand on the back side because if you drill through, you could drill right into your hand. You do have to support it, so I try to go off to the side, line up my drill bit, and then I'll start it. Okay, so I go nice and slow. I don't need to just hammer these in there. And I'll explain why in just a bit. One thing you guys are seeing me do is wipe away all of the shavings because I'm going to have this bumper on here for a little while. I don't want those shavings scratching the paint. So wipe it away so that you don't have that excess there. Also, make sure you kind of check to make sure that the drill bit didn't blow the paint out. If you're doing this on fresh paint, it's better to let it dry before you start doing this. All right, so we got the first set drilled. Let's see how our bolts fit in. If I don't like if they're too tight, yeah, they're a little too tight. So I'm gonna go up one more drill bit, guys. Yeah, no BS. I'm using a set of Milwaukee drill bits. They're old drill bits that I've had for a little while. At least they're cobalt bits, so there is that. All right. If you guys got any questions, you can chat them in down below. I'll read them on screen. And my mods are in here, guys. Make sure, mod, if you're coming in for the first time, make sure you guys say hi. I think Jay and Bill are in here currently. They're two of my mods. So. Okay. One thing I don't like about this drill bit set is that they do fit in here really, really crazy tight. So they fit in this holder really, really tight. So I do have to kind of wiggle it around a bit to get the bit out that I need without cutting my hand open. Or use a screwdriver. Guys, we got 26 of you guys in here. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. We're really trying to grow the channel. All the engagement helps to push this content out to new people, so. We had a little bit of a setback, guys, on the live streaming stuff for like the last 3 weeks. I tried doing a webcam. The webcam didn't work very well. I wasn't getting the reach. So I've gone back to the cell phone and then I'm mirroring it on the computer so I can read you guys' chats a little bit easier. I can't do anything off of the computer though, so I gotta do it all from the phone right now. But I am looking at Streamlab. If there's any guys that are out there that are familiar with Streamlab, let me know. I'd probably like to have a talk with you guys to see how I can get that set up properly. I know I could stream from, do multiple streams, but I just want to get this setup working first so that I'm getting the reach. All right, so we're going to drill it out just a little bit more, guys. Okay, before I get too carried away and drill them all, let's go ahead and check it. Okay, very, very tight fit, but it will work. I don't have to try to force it in there. Put my shavings away and start the next one. Okay, again, wipe away my shavings. I'm going to double check to make sure that all my bolts go in every hole before we take the tape off. That one's a little tight. I'm going to try to run the drill bit on it a little bit more yet. Okay. Okay, we're good. I'm going to take the tape off now. Like I said, you'll see why I decided to tape it in just a bit. I'll bring you guys in a little closer so you can see why. The tape actually holds the paint from coming up when you're drilling, because otherwise, if your bit walks around or it hooks the paint wrong, what will happen is it will actually cut into it. So, I'll bring you guys in close so you guys can see it here. Okay, so here's the holes. And the reason why is you want to keep that edge nice and clean. You don't want it to be marred up from the drill bit. The tape helps to keep it from getting marred up. Got a couple more chats here, I'll read them. Chevy 5 Speed says, what are you building today? We are putting together a front assembly for a bumper on a Malibu LT. This thing had a deer hit. It completely decimated the bumper and destroyed it. Jacer YT says, is it yours or are you doing this for a customer? This one is my personal. So a lot of the stuff you guys see on the channel will be my personal. I do bring customer stuff in every once in a while if I think it's going to make a really good video. But I also make sure that I have their permission before I bring it in. So I do try to bring in some customer stuff from time to time, especially if it's something that I may not get around to doing one for a while, or if it's a unique topic that I do want to cover, I'll bring in a customer vehicle. Octo says 3 holes, nice shots to drill it. Yeah, it actually had little divots in the bumper to make it a little easier to drill it. Like I said, you want to use the tape though, so you can eliminate it tearing the paint when that drill bit goes through. It can catch paint and it can tear it up. So if you don't take the time to tape around where you're going to drill these, it can actually pull these out almost an inch or two beyond the hole where you're drilling. Also, it's designed to just kind of protect it a little bit better. Jacer YT says, how bad was the hit? So, what happened was it completely destroyed the front bumper cover, destroyed all the grills. It mainly hit on the right side by the headlight, but it did no frame damage. I hit the deer hard enough that it somersaulted up and hit my windshield on the driver's side. So I somersaulted it up and it bounced off of that. It didn't hit the mirror, it didn't break that pillar, it didn't hit the hood, but it did completely decimate that bumper. And basically I had to track down all the chrome pieces, all the grill pieces, everything you guys are going to see today. I had to go and track those pieces down. So luckily we've got them all and we're about ready to start putting it all back together. All right, we got 25 of you in here. Guys, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'm serious. It really does help the channel. It helps us build and helps us bring more content to you guys. I need to be able to keep the engagement up to be able to do more projects for you guys. Shouldn't insurance cover that? LOL. Here's the thing. Insurance did want to cover it, but they wanted to total the car out. The car doesn't have super high miles. Yeah, it needed some work. It wasn't horrible bad, but it did need some work. We did a timing chain on it. We've already done coils, spark plugs, serpentine belt, tensioner. So minor basic maintenance stuff. We did have to put front struts in it because nobody puts struts in when they're supposed to, but we did. I did put brand new brakes in it because I wanted the new brakes to be where they were supposed to be. Chief, good to have you in here. Yeah, views are up because I'm actually streaming from the cell phone today. I tried to get Streamlab going and it just didn't work. But Streamlab does offer an option that I can multi-stream from vertical and horizon, so I could do both, but I gotta get it set up. And I'm fighting it. All right, guys. 34 of you guys in here, make sure you guys hit the like button. Let's go ahead and get this plate bolted up. While we do that, if you guys got any chats. Oh, I was going to finish what I was talking about with the insurance. So insurance was going to fix it, but they were going to total it out. And in the process of totaling it out, it would have actually wound up costing me money because what I paid for the car, it was actually cheaper to buy the bumper online, buy all the grill pieces online, and fix it myself in the garage. I spent maybe $1,000 to fix this bumper. My deductible would have been $500, but they were going to total the car out, meaning I was going to lose the car. And for everything that I had going, the last thing I wanted to do was to lose the car. Again, this brought us some really good content. Now, if the frame had been damaged, I would have let it go. But the frame had no damage on it at all. Even the support piece that slightly got bent, that's up by the hood, I was able to bend it back with a screwdriver. So with minor tweaks with a screwdriver, I was able to bend that bar right back into place. So it wasn't worth me letting the insurance company take the car and total it out. That's why you guys are seeing us do what we're doing here today. Again, really good content, shows you guys how you can easily fix something if it's a minor ding yourself. Buy the parts online, get them pre-painted before they get shipped to you. Get them unboxed, let them relax, and then you can install those pieces. Jacer says, no damage to the radiator, only the bumper. Correct. Correct. No damage to the radiator at all. No damage to the even bumper support that was right behind that bumper. So that piece took no hit. It didn't set off the airbags. So this was worth fixing, guys. When you get ones like this, these are cherry. The insurance company was praying that I told them to take it because this was such an easy fix, they would have made money on it. And they do that. Insurance companies will do that. They'll get you to total out a car that might be really easy to fix when you can fix it yourself. Even though, the lights did not take damage. I have the originals. They're not broken in any way, shape, or form. But I did upgrade the lights, guys. So we did do a different style lens. I did full LED bulbs. And I should show you or do a video for you guys to show you guys how to align those bulbs. The worst thing is when you got them pointed in the wrong direction, you're either blinding people or you're not reaching out far enough to see what you need to see. So that will probably be a future video, probably after the bumper is installed on the car. Get to fixing it already. All right. I try to keep my fans happy, so we'll get digging into this. So what I'm doing is I'm throwing the bolts in this now, and then we're going to push all 3 bolts in and put the license plate on. Actually, I'm going to avoid putting the license plate on, but we're going to put this bracket on. Okay, so one thing I want to cover when I go to slide this in, these washers have a rounded edge and a sharp edge. What I want to do is put the rounded edge onto the plastic. I don't want the sharp edge digging into this plastic. So just a little trick, and it's easy to tell which ones these are because the stamped side has the rounded edge on the top. The other side is sharp. So I put the sharp side up so it doesn't cut into this, and then on the back side of the bumper, I'm going to do the same thing. Hillbilly Joe asked for a shout out. Hey, Hillbilly Joe, good to have you in here today. So what I'm doing is just lining up each one before I push them in. Okay. Alright, so 3 brackets are on, 3 bolts are in through the back side. I do need to bring you guys around the back side because on this side, you guys, I'm just going to put a ratchet in there. It's the other side that all the action is going to happen. Okay. Alright, so come around to this side here, guys. Actually, I'm going to flip the camera around for you guys this time. Alright, so there's where our 3 are. And again, I want smooth side to the bumper so it doesn't cut into the bumper. And then I'm going to install one of the lock nuts on the end. Okay, so what I need is the 11 millimeter. That's what I'm going to need to be able to tighten this up. Guys, there's 45 of you guys in here. Hit that like button, please. Help us to grow this channel this year so we can bring you guys more stuff. All right, so I got the 11 on my quarter drive ratchet and my wrench. I'm going to come around this side to tighten it up though. So I'll be able to reach through the bumper. Okay, so I'm only going snug with these. I don't have to get super carried away, and I don't have to really try to push them in there. This isn't something where I got to torque them down real tight, guys. There's no need for that. Now we're going to move on to the next piece. So my car does not come with fog lights, but it comes with these brackets. So these I'm going to install next. They do have snap style clips, so I will need to snap these into place. There's a tab that holds it into place on the corners, so we are going to want to line that up. And there is one of those weird style nuts that we're going to be installing on this. So let me see how this one goes in here. Okay. So there's an easy way to tell left from right. So this is going to go like this because on the bottom it's exposed. You would see it if I put it in on this side. So if it went on the passenger side, you would see that. So this is the right way that it goes in. Okay, So from the back side, there are clips here, here, and here. They hold it in, but it's not held in tight. How we hold it in tight is with these. So we need these little guys right here. These are what's on the back of the badge. Right there. Same style. It's designed to cut into that plastic and hold tight. Again, the reason we did it on the license plate or on the badge for the front of the vehicle is those badges are known for falling off. So by us putting that on there, we're ensuring that it won't fall off. This one's going to be the 10 millimeter, and we're going to have one there and one there. So we need to put both of them in there because otherwise it's going to fall out. All right, guys, we got 43 of you guys in here. Please hit that like button. Okay, so with these, there's a small trick, guys. The small trick is we don't crank down hard on these. We want them to go down to where they touch the back side of this bumper. And then we give it an eighth of a turn once it touches. Okay? So it's touching right now. If I over tighten this, I'm going to strip it out and it won't hold tight. And the other problem is that once it's stripped, there's no way to re-secure it. So right there, that's all I'm giving it. This is now in there and tight. Let's take a look at what it looks like from the other side. All right, guys, 54 of you guys in here, hit that like button, please. Get me up to 15 likes. So right there, that is the front side. Now I'm going to show you guys when I snap this side in, what that looks like when we snap this in. You guys didn't see it because it wasn't on camera. All right, so here's our tabs that I was talking about. These tabs right here. So lining it up. Okay, press it in and it clicks in. Now, like I said, if we don't put those locks on the back like we did, this will fall right out. Those three plastic tabs that hold this in do not hold it firmly and securely. It doesn't hold it tight enough. So we have to put those backing nuts on there. Well, Octo, I don't know what to say to you on that one. I've helped quite a bit of people, so, I mean, if you don't feel that way, sorry to hear that. All right. So next, we'll put these on. These are the 10 mil. Usually I'll reach through and lightly get them started. while I support that. Right there. All I want to go with that. Let's go to this side. All right. Okay, down and tight. Very simple. So now we're at one of the basic parts here of this. Now we're going to start getting our grills assembled here in this bumper. And most of the stuff is going to snap in from this side, but there is some screws and fixtures that we need. I'll explain this thing in a little bit. All right, so one of the easiest pieces to put in is this one here, because this one does just snap in. It's just pressed in, and that's all it is. And it grabs onto the tabs that are sticking out. I can show you guys that here in just a bit. Let me move some of this stuff out of the way. Okay, so these have these tabs right here. You have to press these down if you ever want to pull this piece out. And it is an absolute bear. So make sure that when you're lining this up, that you line it up straight before you go pushing it in. Because you're not going to want to have to bend those tabs and get it back out. So now that I've got that one lined up, I can go ahead and push that one into place. Again, the reason we did all of this stuff on the front, including the badge, is as we put these 3 grill pieces in, these are going to start blocking off access to the rest of the stuff. So this is the reason we had to do it in the order that we did it. Okay, so I've got this halfway snapped in, guys. If you left it like this, it would come back out. So we do have to use something a little bit more aggressive to get that to seat into the clips. And it's already started to relax and come out. So let's use something a little bit more aggressive. Okay. So you might have thought the hammer was overkill, but it actually, because it's all plastic, it likes to rebound and bounce. Hey Jake, good to have you back in here. So what we can do to ensure that this is all the way down, this is why we did the soft cloth covering on this table. What we can do is set the bumper down so that we can stabilize it, and then we'll hit it a little harder. We want to make sure we don't have anything sharp on the other side that's going to cut into this. Yeah, Sundays can be a day that everyone goes and fetches everything and gets everything ready for the next week. So, if we look, there are spots that this little grill piece isn't all the way down. So right there, you can see that this is not all the way down. This is why we want to lay this down and then start getting some good strikes on this to make sure we can fully get that seated. Make sure it's in the shot before I start doing it. Okay, so I'm going to find a good stable spot. Okay, let me set the bumper up and I'm going to show you guys what I just checked. What I was checking was to make sure that it snapped into place. All right, 37 of you guys in here. Hit that like button for me, guys. Get me to 15. We do this every Sunday at 1 p.m. Central. So what we're doing is we're trying to get this past to where this pops up. It's kind of hard to see because of the angle here. But there is a lip. That lip has to get hooked on this side of that bracket. If it doesn't hook in, then it's not latched. This will cause that piece to fall out. So that's why you guys saw me lay it down and start hitting it. And the reason I laid it down was to stabilize it for what we were doing. I needed to make sure this wasn't going to move around. So now we're on one of the last pieces of this assembly process for this particular bumper. There are minor things that we're going to have to be concerned about, guys. Number one, we're going to need to make sure we check if there's any clips that we're going to need. I believe this side there is none that we need because this goes into the plastic side of the fender right here. There's a plastic piece right there. It snaps into place, and then there's a bolt that goes in from the underside. On the wheel well, though, those are going to be held in with either bolts, and there's going to be a clip here, and that skirting is going to ride on the outside of this. So that lip down there is going to cover this. So those clips that you guys see on there, I got to take those off, and those clips got to go on here because it has 3 bolts here that hold it in place. And then there's probably going to be some bolts along here that are going to hold this into place. One of our holes is not drilled out properly, so I'm going to have to re-drill that out. And there's another one here that isn't drilled out properly. So I will wind up re-drilling those holes. Fast Life Man says hi. Hi, good to have you in here on this Sunday. All right, so next we're going to look at the grill pieces. I don't want to do the top one because it's a 3-piece setup, so we're going to go for the other one, which is a 2-piece. The first piece is this. So, brand new grill piece, nothing cracked. My old one was completely damaged, completely destroyed. There was nothing left of it. That piece literally shattered because the deer hit real sharp on this corner of the bumper. So, avoided the headlight, but hit right there. There is a crash bar that goes on the back side of this, guys. That crash bar is laying right there. It's a piece of plastic. That crash bar is going to go in here once we get that grill in. It cannot go in beforehand because you could not put the grill in if you do that. So this one has some holes in it, and it has more than extra holes in it. So you do need the trim piece. Okay, I had to dig the chrome out. So here's the chrome, and the chrome has the right inserts in it. So if you ever wondered and you had the old one around yet, you didn't throw it away, I threw mine away already, but you could figure out where they needed to be off of the old piece and put the right clips in it. But I can just go off of that grill and off of the back. And I do have the smaller one still, so we could mirror whatever the other style one was. That'll be for this one up here. This one also has that other piece that I need to explain to you guys. So I'll do that in a little while as well. Awesome, we're at 13 likes, guys. Get us to 15. All right, so next I'm gonna flip this over. I'm gonna look at where all the clips go, because these have to get clipped together. So the way these are designed is the metal clip will go in here, and then the bolt goes on the back side. With that, the bolts will show on this side, and then we snap it in place this way. And basically the chrome will show through like so. And again, this is designed to be held by that crash bar that we're going to be putting in. So we got to make sure we get our clips in the right spot. And again, these have the lips on it, so that lip is designed to catch onto this chrome, and then we could bolt the grill piece on after. Actually, I might go ahead and do that. Go from the other side so I can see. Now this one we can't pound on it like we did the bottom one, or otherwise we're going to chip and scratch the chrome up. Close my finger. Plastic is always fun because it does scratch, even if you think you got good edges. You can hear it when it snaps into place. And you do need to make sure it's snapped in all the way around. If you've got any spots that are sticking out, you're going to feel it right away. Might be one difficult spot that I'm going to have to fight here is right here in the center. It's not quite snapped in. Alright, so that chrome is nice and in, nice and solid. Awesome. This is where we want it to sit, guys. So as you see this lip right here, this is a tab. This tab actually holds down on the back side of this chrome. So when you're pushing this in, this tab will actually jump over the chrome and lock it into place on the back side of the chrome. What this looks like from the front is this. Now, I have heard of some people just leaving the grills out. Here's the problem with that. Those grills, even though they have holes in them, they do keep debris out from hitting your radiator. And you do not want to have anything hitting it. As you can see already, we do have some hits down there on the bottom. This is the AC condenser. And the reason we have that is because of that big opening down there. Now, we could put some screen behind there if we really wanted to go the extra mile. It's not necessary. You can do it, but it's not necessary. All right, we got 18 of you guys in here. Thank you for tuning in on this Sunday. All right, so now we have to put clips in it that will hold this grill. And there is going to be mounting points here. So these two on the end are actually a support. For our crash bar. So there's going to be a spot in our crash bar where it will actually have bolts in it to hold this in place. It does snap in as well through some tabs right there and right there. So those are two tabs that hold this crash bar into place. This is a very substandard way of doing a crash bar. This did take a lot of the brunt during the deer hit, so it does need to be replaced, but at the same time, it is a very weak setup. It's not very strong, not very durable. So there is that negative side effect to it. I'm getting this out just to show you guys where it's going to line up. So right here, like this. Again, it's going to use these top holes as kind of an alignment along with this down here. So it's going to be held in something like that. And it sits flush against the car, so there is an air gap in between here. But this is what took 90% of my hit on my deer hit. So before we get too much carried away, next we want to mount this piece in here like so. And these don't have a whole lot of crazy things holding that in place. So we just have to make sure we get the right mounting bolts. Again, because we're going to put this grill on, we need to make sure that this is down where it's supposed to be before we proceed. If there's any spots where this grill isn't snapped in, I want to get after it now. Because once this grill goes on, we're pretty much done. We can't do anything to take this back off. These pieces are very brittle. That's the other thing that you guys need to know here. These pieces are extremely brittle, meaning they don't take a whole lot of hits. The more you hit on these, the more you'll break them. Okay, so this is what I was looking for, guys. These are the clips to hold them in. So right here, these are our clips. These are our bolts. This will hold the whole assembly together. And I'm hoping that I bought enough extra that I don't have to raid into the old ones. The old ones are extremely rusty. I do live in the Rust Belt. So that is some of the factor. But if they don't fit in there, then I'm going to have to leave the old ones out. Okay, so I'm trying the factory ones. The ones I bought are slightly smaller. So here's the problem that we run into when we do repairs. So these look very similar, but they're actually different. Once you turn it to the side, you'll see this one has the clips that hold it on this side. Here they're on the top and bottom. This one is a little thicker. So this one's a little thicker. This one's a little thinner. So, unfortunately, I'm going to be digging a lot of mine out. And they do snap right in. Okay, so how I think this went in there is there was actually, they did an every other one type deal. There wasn't enough for all of them. And on my other chrome piece, you'll see what I'm talking about. This one's for the top. This one's the top. So the top, you can see that they did every other one. There isn't, like they skipped two on the top down there. They skipped quite a few on the bottom. So we want to match what this is on the other chrome piece. But since I got rid of that one, because I already took the clips out, what I do need to do is take all of them out. I need to take them all out of the brackets that I currently have. So we're going to shift a little bit. I'm going to peel out all the ones that I have, and then we're going to get right back into this. So when you run into a situation like this, like you already got rid of the old piece, let's say you had a chance to get rid of it, the trash man came, but you were smart enough to pull the clips. You will need to take and pull them all out to reuse the hardware. What I'm doing now is I'm grabbing all my pieces. Also grabbing a needle nose pliers. So we're going to need this to pick them all out. I want to make sure I got them all for you guys. Guys, hit that like button and the subscribe button. Help us build this channel, guys, this year. We're really trying to do a lot. Bring you guys more content. Every Sunday we go live at 1 p.m. Central with new content. So we don't recycle. There are once a year topics that I bring up, such as buying cars, whether it be used cars or new cars. I also do a finance video that gives you guys information on financing and how that works and how you guys can get into another car. Octo says, I apologize for my earlier comment. I just think you're a bit nervous. I didn't mean anything by it in a bad way. Oh, no, I do run into trolls from time to time because I do talk about topics that I really wish this thing was set up, guys. I really do. Because over the last 3 weeks, I was able to share the screen. When I was able to share screen, I was able to do news a lot better. I'm still going to do news for you guys at the end of the video today. But I catch a lot of flack for the news that I share with you guys. I've been in YouTube since 2019. So I've been here for quite a while. And there are times that it comes off as nervous because my brain is already on the project, even though I need to be explaining stuff to you guys. So that might be where you're seeing some of that nervousness. It's not nervousness that I'm on camera. It's my mind is in like 6 different places. Jay says 2019 was a while ago. Yeah, it was, man. I started 2019. Octo says, I understand. Cool. Yeah, no hard feelings with it. So these suck. This is the nicest way I can say it. These suck. So you have to squeeze these together and you have to push them up to get them out. Oftentimes the needle nose trick doesn't work. I'm doing it because if it does save me a bunch of time. If it doesn't, then I wind up doing this with screwdrivers. And it's a giant pain. Because these clips were never actually meant to come out of here. They were never designed. They came from factory, pressed in, that's the way it was. And they thought if you were going to replace it, you were going to replace it with a GM part. Well, here to find out, GM is having issues getting parts. I'll be talking about that a little bit in the news too. Yeah, I gotta go to screwdrivers. Okay, I'm trying this screwdriver trick. I've done this before in the past and it's worked. There's times that it doesn't though. So I'm gonna try it. I don't really care what happens to this piece of plastic. And if you were careful, you could probably just cut them all out, but you got to be very, very careful. Yeah, not even the screwdriver trick is working very well. I don't want to break these because, yeah, I thought I had extras, but I don't. So I'll try something before I show you guys. It's going to get to the point I am going to cut these out. Jay, this is his side account. He's one of my mods. He asks, could you LS swap a 99 Chevy Silverado? That idea was in my mind since a week ago. I could, but here's the issue with doing swaps, guys. The right way to do a swap is you need to have a donor vehicle. And the problem is that, like where I'm from, a lot of those donor vehicles are extremely hard to come by because they're either so smashed and damaged in a spot that you need it, or the vehicles are so rusty. Especially a 99 Chevy would be very, very rusty. So I got the first one here, and I'll show you guys kind of how I got them. I want to try getting one more. So you cannot have the bolt in it when you do this. So you got to take the bolt out. You have to put the needle nose on the back side like this, and you have to wiggle this down until it snaps out on this side. And when it does snap out on that side, then you try to wiggle that out. I only have like 30% rust on it. At that point, you're LS swapping it to make it a mud truck. Let me put it that way. So it pops up just like that when you first get it started. Then you can just push it with your thumb from the back side. It'll pop out. But we do have to get them all out. I've got 5 more to go. It's good to have you guys in here on a Sunday. This is our new time, guys. So I had to make a decision. I wanted to be able to spend more time with my family, and it didn't work going live on Saturdays because it took up too much of my time. I felt like I had to be limited and I had to hurry up and get the jobs done. I couldn't take my time. I couldn't enjoy talking to you guys and socializing with you guys as well. So Sunday I actually have time because I don't really have anyone around that I have to really contend with. Side note, I don't have kids, just my wife and my dog. And my wife is busy on Sunday afternoons. So this works great for me to be able to just come on here and give you guys content. And I don't really need to focus on my time frame of when I need to be done. There are sometimes if I got to mow yard and stuff, I try to get that done so it doesn't impact what we do here today, but yeah. So this one's just being a little bugger. This is that tab on the side. So this is the one on the side that we have to put the bolt in, and that's part of what holds that front crash bumper on. Okay, so I got 4 down, 4 to go. Sandy says family first. Correct, man. Family first. You know, when it comes down to it, we all do what we have to take care of our families, support our families. And you really want to have time to be there for them. You don't want to be missing important events and doing things like that. I work a lot, guys. YouTube's not my main job. I don't make enough from this. And currently I'm in the process of reinvesting this to be able to bring you guys more stuff. So there's a lot of building on the backside that you guys aren't seeing. In the process of me building, I do have a day job that I do Monday through Friday. I work about 50 hours a week at that job. So between that, this job, and doing stuff to take care of my house, I do have to squeeze in time for the family. So that's what prompted me to go to a Sunday instead of the Saturdays that we were doing. Jay says, I only have like a little bit of rust on the bed and other bits of rust under. The underside is what I'm more concerned about because that could get into frame. So you do got to check to make sure you're not running into frame issues there. So we're going to have a total of 10 of these. So that's what's going to hold that grill piece to the chrome. All right, one more to go. And then we are ready to start putting this back together, get that grill in there. At least with that one in there, we can put that crash bar in there. Then we can worry about the top one. The reason you can't do the crash bar before the middle grill is that sits right in front of that grill. So you'll have the grill and then that crash bar is right behind the grill. Then it's that bumper support. So that's the order and the assembly of how that works. All right, we got 22 of you guys in here. Get me to 15 likes. Come on, guys. I don't like to be one of those YouTubers that stop the show and make you guys get the likes up. I hate doing that. But I can't tell you guys how important it is for us to get the likes up because that's how the video gets pushed in the algorithm. That's how more people get to see it. That's how we get to do more videos and make more stuff. And in the future, that's how I'm going to be able to bring you guys content and be able to bring you guys merch. So it's really important for you guys to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, help us build this channel together. Again, Sundays are a relaxed day. I just come in here, I do my thing with you guys. Projects take what they take. I try not to work on it outside of being here with you guys because I don't want to do a bunch of stuff and then you guys come back, well, what did he do? I mean, there's so much done, I don't get where the project went. So a lot of my projects tie up my bay because I have to keep it so I can show you guys each step. So, and we do have some smaller content stuff coming up for Crimson Vortec, which is our 01 GMC Jimmy. Once we get this thing done, we will be jumping into Crimson Vortec and doing a few things on there before we get our hands on that motor rebuild. So there was a vote that we took for me to rebuild the motor for Crimson Vortec. The reason I'm prompted to do that motor, because I think I can get one more winter out of it, but after that, the compression ratio is getting low enough that I should probably replace that motor. When I do it, I'm gonna fix the problems that GM did when they first released those trucks. One of the big issues was they lowered the compression to get better fuel mileage, which was a bad thing to do. They could have actually gotten more fuel mileage by bumping the horsepower up, but dropping the gear ratio down. It's got 373 gears. If they would have went to a 342 or even a 308, they would have had better fuel mileage and they would have had the horsepower to pull those gears. But they chose to go with a much lower compression on the 01 GMC Jimmys and S10s. Most of those are running at about an 8.5 to 1 compression. They run a dished piston. So we want to find one that's a true top, flat top piston, and we want to get that combustion chamber down on the head. Meaning if we could get a 64 cc chambered head, that would be awesome. We need to make sure we're not going to hit the valves. That's all coming up in the engine build, guys. So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You guys already know I'm bringing you guys a lot of content every Sunday for you guys to just kind of kick back and watch me build these projects and do this stuff and learn a little bit on the side. So now that we have those clips out, catch a little something to drink. And now that we have our clips, we have 8 of them here, we have 2 on the other side. I'm going to go over to the other side, I'm going to set everything up, and I'm going to show you guys how to calculate where to clip these into place. Because if we overdo it or we don't get enough, it's not going to be held in its proper place. It's going to want to shift and move around, or could potentially break the grill. So we got to get them in the right spot. We can't just do them all across the top and then nothing on the bottom. It has to be kind of evenly supported, which means there's going to be gaps in there. Crafty says, hi, I need to ask you a question. Go ahead and shoot. Are you drinking whiskey? You know, it's Sunday. I don't have to really go anywhere. I should be, but I'm not, guys. It's pure leaf tea. I'm addicted to tea, horribly bad. I grew up on old-fashioned sun tea, so it's always the unsweetened, never the sweet tea. I grew up on old-fashioned sun tea. If this was whiskey and I was drinking as much as I am, you guys should probably tell me to go check my liver. And for how much tea I'm drinking, you guys are probably going to tell me to do that anyway. All right. So we want to make sure we got all of our bolts here too. So if we're missing some, I've got them all on my bench and I can go over and get them. So the ones I bought, no good. This happens. I tried to be prepared. I tried to buy the right clips, but unfortunately, I couldn't get the factory ones. So I got the ones that they said were supposed to fit, but they don't. And if I put these in here, this is what's holding it in place. So if I would have put it in there the way this style was, it would not have spread that apart, and it would have just, the grills would have popped right out. Like I said, a completely different style clip here. Totally different. This one, as the bolt goes through, it's going to spread it out. This one, it won't do that. So if these are loose, when they get pushed in, they're going to stay loose. All right, so I want to count out what I got. Then I want to evenly spread them out. So I got 10 here, 2 already in. All right, guys, come on, hit that like button for me. I really hate pushing this, guys, but we got to get the likes up. We got 35 of you guys in here right now. I need to get to 15. So I'm doing some calculations while you guys get that likes up. Give me 2 more likes, guys, and we'll get started. I hate having to push you guys like this, but we got to get the likes up. It really does make a difference on the channel. I think I got it figured out. All right, come on, guys. 2 likes. That's all I'm asking for. Got to keep the engagement up. I've been asking all streams. Now I got to push you guys a little bit. Give me two more likes, and we'll get going again. I need to get above that threshold. We got to keep at least a 50% engagement, guys. If you guys got any questions, you guys can chat those in. We can discuss some questions while we're waiting for the likes to get up. So if you guys got questions, go ahead and shoot those in. But we need 2 more for me to go ahead and start putting this stuff in. I'm gonna get something to drink, guys. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. All right, come on, there's 45 of you guys in here. Hit the like button, please. We need to keep the engagement up. If you guys haven't subscribed, make sure you guys subscribe. We do this every Sunday at 1 p.m. Central, different topic every single week. So this week is getting this bumper put together. Next week, we'll be getting the bumper physically on the car. With the bumper physically on the car, I'm getting really close to being able to put this thing on the road. There's going to be like 1 or 2 small pieces that we're going to do. But after that, this car is back on the road. And I really do need it on the road because I need the fuel mileage for this. And this one has AC. Crimson Vortec needs to have it completely rebuilt. We're going to go ahead and rebuild that when we do the motor project. All right, come on, guys. I've been asking nicely all stream. Now I gotta ask you guys to start hitting the like button. We got Motors down below, says hi, good to have you in here. Awesome. We're here on a Saturday or a Sunday doing our live video. This one's on assembling this bumper so that we can get it going. Mods, give me a shout out. I want to know how many mods are in here right now. Give me a shout out for all my mods. I want to know who's still in. And if Chief is still here, Bill, I don't know if Bill's still in, and I think Jay might be in here. All right, guys, come on, 1 more like, and I'll get rolling. We'll get this thing going. Trying to keep at least 50% engagement on all of my videos. My goal is to get, good, Bill, you're still in here, awesome. Yeah, my goal, guys, is to get our subscriber counts up high enough that I can actually justify putting in a merch store. So it's not just the likes, but it's also the subscribes. But in order for us to get more people to the channel, we've got to have the likes. It's the one algorithm measurement that they judge all of our live videos on. So in order for me to build, I need those likes. So 1 more, and we'll get knocking on this project. We'll get this girl in here. Guys, we also have the news coming up yet. Once we get this put together, so you guys aren't going to want to miss the news. Actually, while you guys are getting likes up, I'm going to start taking the clips out of that other piece. I'm going to organize these to the side here. All right. All right, guys, hit the like button. One more like, and I'll start assembling again. We'll get rolling on this project. The volume is low. Okay. Let me see if I can do anything out here on my end. Okay, is that a little bit better? This is why I really want to get StreamYard going. StreamYard would give me more control over it versus my cell phone. So. Yep, awesome. Okay, cool. Yeah, I played around with the volume on my phone, so hopefully that'll work, guys. I'm going to be playing with that software. I really do want to get better quality live streams. My cell phone is okay, but it really doesn't do high definition video, and I really do hate that. If I have the stuff to be able to bring you guys awesome content, I want to. It's kind of my goal. All right, guys, one more like. Come on, get that like up, and we'll get going on this project. You guys got any questions? Chat them in on your own car projects. I do have some mods in here, and they'll help. Also, I'll try to help. My mods can get you guys information if it's something that you need, like torque specs or something like that. They can look those up and drop those in the chat for you guys. Once I'm sitting at the computer part, I can do more of that too. Sounds and looks good on my phone. Yeah, I tried to buy a really good phone, guys. I've had this one now for probably 5 years. I'm getting to the point I probably should upgrade this, but I did buy a good Galaxy, I think it was S22 Ultra back in the day. So awesome, we're at 16 likes. Cool, guys. Let me get this clip out of here and we're gonna get going on this next part. I've already got it all figured out. Awesome. Thank you guys for the support. Like I said, we really want to strive for 50% engagement, at least on the like side. All right, so what I'm doing is while I was waiting, I was pulling these clips out and I'm keeping these organized over here off to the side. So that way when I go to grab the new piece out, I'll know where they're organized and I'll just snap these into place. Now I'm not going to throw this away yet until after I snap them in. I already made that mistake with that grill. So if you guys are doing this project, if you guys have to go this far into it, make sure you put this stuff off to the side and don't throw it away because you're gonna need the hardware. All right, so I'll spin you guys around for this one. All right, so here is our middle grill. This is the middle piece. I have my clips laid out down below. So as you see it, top, bottom. That's how I'm going to put these in to hold that grill into place. So I will start by snapping in one at a time until I get all of these in. Okay, you guys are seeing me skip ones here in the middle. I'll explain why I'm doing that in just a little bit. Now, if you went to GM and you bought all of the hardware, you could fill this grill out with these clips. It's not necessary though. That grill is held in hard enough that you don't need to add all of those clips. So if you don't have them all, you don't need to freak out about having them all in there. And from factory, you won't have them all in there either. You might ask, why did I just go for the ones that I went for? Here's the reason why. So, I'm holding in the corners to make sure that's tight. I'm holding in the center to make sure that's tight. These are just holders. So they're just holding the center part of the grill. They don't need to have these here because that is a little overkill. And this one doesn't even need to be here. They could have actually closed this one off because you're doing a cross pattern here to where that'll be strong enough and stable enough just in the factory configuration. So this will go up here like so. Now, before I go bolting this in, I'm going to set up my ratchet with my socket. And it should be the 7mm for these little guys. So I set the first one in and I do a center bolt to hold it because it does actually kind of help to have a center bolt in there. Okay, I'm not going to get super carried away by going tight with this yet. I want to get all the bolts in it before I get too carried away. And some of these are going to go in hard because they're not lining up perfectly. So you don't want to go all the way tight with these, but you do want to go down somewhat snug. Because I'm not going all the way down tight, it doesn't matter the sequence to put these in. These aren't head bolts, guys. If we were doing head or intake bolts, we would do a tightening pattern. We might put them in loose, but we wouldn't start snugging them down without doing the sequence. These, there is no sequence. But you do got to get them all in there before you start tightening anything down. There is a little bit of play in the grill piece, and that little bit of play you'll need for the bottom when you put the bottom screws. Okay, I'm going to grab a few more. I'm going to grab 5 more. If you guys got any questions, go ahead and chat them in. More across the bottom. And then we're going to have 2 on the outside. I don't see any more chats. Yeah, I knew the views would taper off when I started pushing the likes, guys, but I didn't have a choice. I have to keep the like count up, because otherwise it really does stunt the video. So there's times that I do have to push it a little bit, guys. See here. Yeah, if you guys got any chats, go ahead and chat them in now. I'll read them on screen and keep going with the project. This is some of the reason why you don't really need to put them all in there, because the pattern that we have here, that grill is going to be tight enough that it's not going to go anywhere. And it's the same with the top grill too. So the top grill is going to be very similar to this, where you don't need to have them all in there. And once I get these snug down, I'll take you guys to the other side and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so before I'm going to snug these down, I want to go to the other side. I'm going to take a quick peek myself, make sure that the grill is in place, and then I'm not going to crack it as I start to tighten this down. And there's one more to go in here. Sadly, because these are all plastic, these are actually part of the structure of the bumper. So without the grills in here, this bumper doesn't have the support that it needs. So getting this hardware in and getting these grills in actually supports this bumper. Okay, so I've got the bottom 3 across there. Let me check chats. All right, I don't see any more chats. Again, I'm not getting carried away by tightening these down. So if I actually wrench on it with even this quarter drive ratchet, I'm going to snap these. And because they do in every other pattern, snapping even one can potentially weaken the structure. So we want to get it tight, but we don't want to overdo it. So just like that, all the pieces are put in. We still have our outer tabs that has our crash bar on it. But this is what I was talking about, guys. So when I said you had to put your license plate on, and you had to put your badge on, that's the reason why. If we had not put that stuff on, then we wouldn't have the access to do it after this is put on. We do not want to take this back off. That is extremely weak and it's going to break. And give me ones in the chat if that makes sense to you guys. If that assembly process there makes sense to you guys. Give me ones in the chat if that makes sense. I'll try to give you guys a little bit better shot. So you guys are pretty much straight on. You can see the two down there, but you're missing that third one up there. You can't see it. That one up there is also hidden. So ones in the chat if you guys are following along and everything's making sense so far. Twos if it doesn't, and then explain why. So yeah, if everything we've done so far makes sense to you guys and you're understanding how this stuff is being put together, one's in the chat. Two, if it doesn't seem to make much sense to you. Maybe you came in later in the video, you need a little explanation. I'm okay to give that to you guys now here. We're past the midway point. So all we have left is the top grille and the back crash bar. So again, one, if it makes sense. Two, if it doesn't, and say why. I wonder if my chat locked up. I don't see anything from you guys on that yet. Let me see if I can reset chat for you guys. Wait, yeah, that would be resetting the chat. Okay. All right, so if you guys aren't saying anything, I'll take it that you guys are following along and that everything makes sense. So next we want to put our crash bar in. This is our support for our crash bar. Flip you guys around here. Okay, it's held in on two spots, up here and down here. That's what holds this whole crash bar in, right there. That is the back support for the crash bar. That's going to sit right on the lip for that crash bar. It's going to be supported when we push the bumper into place. Mateo says, hi. Hi, good to have you in here on this Sunday. We do this every Sunday at 1 p.m. Yeah, every Sunday at 1 p.m. Central. I'm so used to saying Saturday. I gotta not do that because we're switching it up. So what I'll do is I'll snap the corners into place. Get you guys a better shot here. Okay, these are going to be a little tricky. We're going to need a screwdriver to help us out. Here's the reason why. These tabs are very finicky. So as we wiggle this, we're going to have to pry this tab out. Okay, just like that, we wiggled it and we pried that tab out. All right, some of you guys are new in here. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. We do this every Sunday at 1 p.m. New topic every week. And I'm working on bringing you guys a lot more content in the future. All right, so now that that's in there, the only thing we can contend with now is there should be a bolt that goes in here. That bolt will bottom out and hold that in there. That's going to be a really wide washer bolt. Okay, so just like I said, a really wide washer bolt. Oh, Toby's asking, what is this? This is a bumper assembly for a 2012 Malibu LT. This car took a deer hit in the front. It did not damage the frame, the fenders, the hood, or the headlights. It did not damage the crash bar. It did not do anything to the radiator. What happened was it hit right here, somersaulted up without touching the hood. I bounced it off the windshield and it did not touch the mirror. So that's what happened with this car and why we're doing this repair. Now I do repairs on everything, you know, on Sundays I do a lot of live stuff for you guys. It's just, this happened to be the project that we've been working on lately. So, again, remember that if you had not put those clips in the corner that I told you guys about, you wouldn't be able to put these in, which holds this crash bar against the bumper. So this crash bar is the support. Toby says, oh, deer hit. Oh, dear, LOL. Yeah, it's quite the interesting experience when it happened. Yeah, no problem. I don't mind explaining for guys that just pop in now. Make sure you guys hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Again, like I said, we do this every Sunday at 1 p.m. New topics every week. I do have yearly topics that I recycle, guys. Some of those yearly ones are buying used cars, buying new cars, financing. So I do get into, you know, all of that for you guys, helping you guys out with your next purchase, you know, helping you guys stay informed about the news in the automotive world. So we also do that. News will be coming up once we finish this bumper, guys. Okay, I don't want to get carried away and over tighten that corner. I don't want to break these corners. This whole corner from the deer hit was absolutely destroyed. The crash bar was destroyed, the bumper was destroyed, the grille was broken. Well, that was almost shattered into a bunch of different pieces. Broke the chrome. This one was all right. It knocked that cover out that is for a fog light. There is no fog lights on this car, so it has a cover instead. And the cover was just gone after that deer hit. Completely not there. But we are getting to the point where we're getting really close to wrapping this bad boy up. We got a little bit more in the grill area to do. And then we can move on to the news. So I have to finish taking the clips out of this chrome one. And I have to push the clips into the new chrome. So let me grab the new chrome and we'll start getting that. Again, all this stuff, guys, I bought off of Amazon or eBay. And hopefully my internet connection holds up. It must be getting angry with me. So all this stuff I bought online. So none of this is factory OEM. And honestly, for stuff like this, you don't need factory OEM. You really don't. Especially on a daily driver. Now, if this was a show car, let's pretend. Because it's a Malibu, 2012 Malibu. It's not a show car. It's a commuter car. Commuter cars are not show cars. If it was a show car, I would choose a much more reliable parts supplier. I would try to go with stuff that's closer to OEM or at least quality remanufactured, or possibly even, if I have to go with the aftermarket supplier, I'm going to go with a reputable aftermarket supplier for those parts. And the reason for that is on a show car, it's really important and it does come down to the details. Stuff like this on an old classic car is made of metal. And usually they can tell if it's a remanufactured piece or if it's an aftermarket piece and not an original. If you're in a very expensive car show and it's important that you actually show well, little details like this is the difference between you actually getting a trophy and going home with nothing. So, a little bit of tip for you guys that do have show cars or do want to have high-end sports cars. Just know that there's times for the more expensive parts, there's other times that there isn't. So now that I've got this out, I'm going to snap the top ones into place right away. And I got to do it from the right side, so I got to do it from the back side here. That's how these get clipped in. There's one up here. Do me any good to be doing it off camera like that. So I line it up. The open parts of the tabs are side to side, not up and down, because that's how I took the clip out. Putting them all back in the way I got them, in the exact order that I got them out of the old piece. This is the right way to do these when you're reusing hardware. If you're buying new hardware, you could buy enough new hardware to fill this grill out. It's not necessary. I've already explained that to you guys. I know there's a few of you, few new people in here. I know this stream is getting a little long-winded for some people, but we normally go for about 3 hours on a Sunday or Saturday whenever we were live streaming on Saturdays. We're not doing Saturdays anymore. I kind of explained the reason why for that. Bill says, old car stainless steel. Absolutely correct. If you're dealing with an old classic car, you're dealing with stainless steel. You're not dealing with cheap plastic like this. So going off of Amazon or eBay for this stuff doesn't matter, because this isn't a show car. And it never will be. And I would never try to make this car a show car. It's a fuel economy car. Daily driver, fuel economy car. So what I'm going to actually do is lay this down, and as I pop these out, I'm going to set them where I want them to go. So this is another way you can do it and be organized about it. Do them one at a time. So this one doesn't have any in the center. There's no clips here. So all your support is on the outer side. We changed that on the middle one. There was a crisscross in there. We did it across one side of that crisscross. What that does is it strengthens the center of that grill. So if you do hit something like a bird, it's not going to blow the center of the grill out. There's only 4 across the bottom. This clip is being a pain. Yeah, if you guys got any questions, chat them in. Heard it fall, where did it go? Under the table. Okay. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and snap these into place. They're gonna go kind of crisscrossed almost. So we're gonna go here. 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 And here. So on this one, there is none on the ends. So here's our clips in here. There's nothing in the center. There's nothing on these ends. And it's just the way they designed it. Now I do see that there is alignment holes on the top up here. So I do look at how this goes in. And those alignments on the top will take a different clip again. So we're going to have 2 of these floating around here somewhere that we're going to have to put 2 in those upper corners. Those are probably going to be held from the back side underneath that shield that goes across the top. Also, there might be clips that we have to put in here. Otherwise, they're going to be like a push clip that goes down, wedges between the metal frame, and pinches the bumper and the cover. So it'll be like a Christmas tree style that goes in there, spreads out, and holds those pieces into place. So we're going to do like we did with the middle grill. We're going to snap this one in place, then we'll put the back piece on. So let's move you guys back here. If you guys got any questions, you guys can chat them in. Trying to get as much in there as I can before I start trying to snap the top into place. And the top is a little flexible because I can bend it, get it to snap into place. do not want to use screwdrivers on this. I will chip that chrome if I do that. So no shoving screwdrivers or pry bars in here. This all has to be done by hand. Okay, so the top is fighting me a little bit, which happens. It's plastic, so sometimes I'll just move around, try a different spot until I can get it to snap in. Let's do it this way, guys. Bring you in a little closer. So I'm going to try to go for this corner and get this corner to snap in. It's binding right here on the edge, and I'm not able to get this piece down, that piece up. They do have to interlock together. Okay, I said no screwdrivers, so I'm going to go ahead and break that rule right now because these corners are binding. So I'm going to run the risk of putting a screwdriver on here and trying to lift that tab up at least enough that I can get this corner snapped in. Okay, I'm going to take a different stab at this, guys. So I'm going to release this. This is some of the reason that you guys run into plastic issues. And like I said, these aren't designed to come back apart, so I'm running the risk of breaking it just to get it in there. So I'm not going to do the bottom first. The bottom walked right in for me. It almost went in too easy. So if I can get this to snap out without breaking it. try to do the top first. So it might be easier to snap the bottom in once the top is in. Okay, I'm noticing some slag, you guys, so I'll show you guys what I'm thinking here. So, because this was an aftermarket bumper, and it's a good thing you guys are here with me now and get to see this. Some of the guys that dipped out early would not have seen this, or won't see this unless they come back in. Some of these have slag on these edges. That slag is the reason that it's not able to clip in. So in order to get that to clip in, we're going to have to clean up some of the slag. Glad to have you guys in here on a Sunday. We do this every Sunday at 1 p.m. guys. So I'm going to do one here that you guys can see. What I'm doing is I'm taking a razor blade, just carefully trimming off any of the slag that's on that lip. What that does is it frees up that lip so that it will clip into place. We know the bottom clips in, so we're not going to get super carried away with trimming that one, but we are going to get that upper, because that upper has been a problem. So if there's any slag on this lip, what happens is you have to push it past the slag in order to get it to connect. This is what happens when you order like cheaper aftermarket bumpers. And the reason this is a cheaper aftermarket bumper, the factory one has a cutout relief for this badge. That cutout relief helps hold that in there with the adhesive that they put on it. Here's the trick. Since this one doesn't have the relief that helps hold it in, that's why we added that nut in the back. It's good to have all you guys in here on a Sunday, checking out this repair. Next week we will be installing this bumper. So next week we will be doing the install, guys. See, there's 30 of you guys in here. Please hit that like button, hit the subscribe. Helps build the channel. And we're working on bringing you guys more content and merch by the end of the year. So Okay, I think I got all the slag. So now we're good to go. Yeah, let's try this again, guys. I'm going to move you back so you guys can see this thing go in. All right, we got 23 of you guys in here. We got some new people watching. Guys, hit that like button, hit the subscribe. Here we go. Try for the top first, since that's what's fighting me the most. Yeah, doesn't seem to want to work that way, so we're going to go ahead and put the bottom in. So the reason we're clicking the bottom in now, again, is what this will do is help push the grill piece down so that when I go to try to manipulate the top, it'll be in. So then that way when I force the corners in, the rest of the top should go in. All right. You guys got any checks? Check those in now. I'll read them on screen. Still definitely fighting this trim piece. This one does not want to snap in nice and clean. I had a feeling this one was going to be this way just because of the fact that it's a smaller piece, meaning that it's going to be harder for me to manipulate it. The bigger ones, you have more flex. You can flex it a little bit and move it around. These small ones are real tight, meaning you really do have to kind of force the bumper and pull the chrome without damaging it. So we've got half of it in on the top, but still missing the other piece here. It's definitely these corners that are fighting me. Okay, I don't like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to tap this in. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to break that chrome. I might have not have trimmed enough of the slag off, to be honest with you. Might not be enough of the slag off on the corners in order to get the chrome in there. San Diego, I am live streaming on a lake in California. Come tune in. Yeah, guys, we don't encourage you to promote over here. All right. One corner just went for me. That was a good thing. I've got one more tab here that doesn't quite want to clip in. And I gotta get this other corner. Some of you can say this is why you guys tune in and watch me. Bill says, how about some silicone spray? Thought about it. The reason I'm trying to go against that is I don't want to do anything that's going to cause issue to that paint. But I'm tired of fighting it, so... So if you have to do this trick, guys, what we're going to do is a little bit of the penetrating spray on a rag. We don't want to get it all over the bumper. And I'm going to spray it from the back side. So the one corner is in and down. It's this one over here. It's half in and half out. It's definitely just the one corner. Even with the silicone spray, this corner is difficult because it's not molded properly. So I'm having to walk the tab down around it. There it goes. So now, work this in. Cheap aftermarket bumpers, guys, sometimes are not worth it. This is a prime example of that. So when these are not molded perfectly, what happens is the tabs are too thick and you can't get them to go around the lip the way they're supposed to. And like I said, there's a little edge that it has to clip around in order for it to snap into place. I can show you there's 3 spots fighting me. And we can see that pretty clearly here, guys. So we have here, here, and here. I don't want to get too carried away and spray a bunch of WD-40 on there. I don't want it on the paint. So I'm trying to work with the lip and get the lip to kind of concave and give into itself. So yeah, this is the fun of doing these live videos for you guys. You guys get to see where the struggles are, especially if you buy aftermarket parts like this. Because these aren't OEM, they're not always going to go together the way that they should. So I'm having to use screwdrivers and pry bars and other things to get these to go into place. And I don't want to come from this side with a screwdriver, because what can happen is if I come from this side with a screwdriver, what'll happen is I could poke through, scratch the paint and the chrome. Better idea, actually. Alright, if you guys are going to do anything body related, always pick yourself up a set of these. These do make a world of difference when doing anything plastic related, because these are designed not to scratch. Too wide. Oh. So this one might have so much slag that I actually have to take that piece back out. That would be an absolute disaster on this. I'm trying not to do that at all costs. But I'm not seeing a good clear path to get this to snap in on the top, and I can't leave it the way it is because it will pop out. Guys, I'm pulling out a lot of tricks here just to get this to snap in and snap in cleanly. I'll show you some of the tricks here once I get the rest of the stuff wiggled in. One to go, guys, and I'll show you the trick that I'm doing to get this in here. So we got one more nasty tab to go. There, it isn't perfect, and I had to do a nasty trick that I don't like. But I'll show you guys now. All right. Octo, the biggest trick is to swear at it. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so it's snapped in all the way around. This is what you want. If you buy aftermarket bumpers, this could be the reality of what you deal with to get this chrome into place. Let's take a look at where this snaps in. Once we get this center grill in, guys, we're going to switch over to the news. This piece took a little longer than I wanted, but that happens. So where it snaps in, there are tabs right here. These tabs have to clip onto the back side of that chrome. So these tabs have to be clipped in. And I just see one more that ain't quite clipped in. So I'll have to fight that quick. But up here, I had to use a screwdriver and I had to walk it in. Unfortunately, yes, I'm not going to see this part, but it did kind of mar this area because I had to walk it in with a screwdriver, guys. So when you have improperly fitting plastic that's aftermarket made, you are going to deal with issues like this of having to force it in that way. It's not ideal. Ideally, it should just snap into place from factory like it's supposed to. Unfortunately, it doesn't always go the way we want. And like I said, if there was any slag, then that slag holds that from sitting in there flush. And that's kind of what I have going on. Is some of it is slag, some of it is just not properly fitting because it was not factory made. And what I'm doing now is I'm making sure that it's snapped in before I go any farther. Because if I try to move forward and it's not fully snapped in, it's not going to take very much for that grill to come popping out. So I want to make sure that it's fully snapped in before I get carried away going any further. Yeah, there's a little bit of slag right here on this piece. Make sure I got you in on the shot. Yeah, there's a little bit of slag right there, right in the center. So what that kind of did, switch you guys around. All right, take a little breather here. So what happened was that slag is holding that up from going in and clipping into where it needs to be. A little piece of slag can hold this back to where you can't get it to clip in. And that's what happens when you buy cheap online bumpers. So this is a good learning lesson for everybody involved. If you're going to choose to do panel replacement like this, buying parts online, Amazon, eBay, these are what they call sort of fit parts. They sort of fit. Sometimes you have to wrestle them to get them to do what you want. We got lucky on the bottoms that it clipped right in, so that was a good thing. The bad thing is we wrestled the top really bad, and we had to really exert a lot of force to get that to go in, and it should never have had to go in that hard. So at this point, we're ready to go ahead and put our other piece on, which will pretty much finish up this bumper, and we'll be ready for install. So let's go ahead and get that piece in. Then we're going to get into the news after this. Okay, so we got all of our clips in. I'm going to move you guys back here so you guys can kind of see what's going on. So remember I talked to you guys about this shield. There's a reason that I talked to you guys about the shield. I'm about to explain what's going on here with this. Okay, I do need to find the top two up here, because that holds that corner together. All right, this sucks. So, when I hit that, I've lost pieces of the bumper. So I'm going to have to use these behind here to bolt this bumper back into place. So, just like that. Okay, so with that in there, we're in. Okay, so let's talk about this real quick. What is this on a Chevy Malibu? So the radiator sits lower in that frame. This is a block-off plate, meaning that that top grill is only for looks. It does nothing for airflow. This is notorious on modern cars, is they'll do something aesthetically, but then they'll have to do something to block it off because there is no real function to it. And oftentimes in wind tunnels, they've tested these and found out that because they had problems with wind, then they've had to put in a block off. Like this. So here's your block off. Wind can't get by here. The reason for this is because if the wind comes in here, what it's going to do is come through, and the wind is going to want to push out of the front of the bumper. It's going to wrap around the top because there's no radiator up there. It's a piece of metal, like it's part of the frame of the car. So that wind hits, it spins and creates lift on the front of the bumper. This creates drag, which also creates fuel consumption. So by not putting this in there, you sacrifice fuel mileage. This is the same thing as if you have like chin spoilers underneath the car to keep the wind from getting out or getting under the car. This does the same thing. So if you don't have that, what happens is it'll create turbulence. That turbulence messes with your fuel mileage. One's in the comment if that makes sense to you. Two, if it doesn't, and explain why. All right, I was looking for ones if you guys understood what I just said, or twos if you didn't, and tell me why. Waiting for that, I'm going to get more bolts in this. Luckily, I bought some extra bolts. These bolts are right. I did check them. So, take these open. Yeah, that's gonna happen. I didn't get it in there far enough. Plastic does cut you guys. Just slice my finger open on it. But, all right, let me get this process finished here. Okay, I'm just snugging one up for now. This will help me get the other one started. All right, we got 11 of you guys in here. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Help us out. We do live podcasts every Sunday at 1 p.m. So we're nearing the end of the assembly process for this video. I just have to get the rest of these bolts in. The new grill came with a piece of paper on it. We're going to force through that. So sometimes you guys got to remove your tags. And I know this is getting long for a lot of you guys, but always remove your tags. Otherwise, you're going to have to force a screw through there, and I'm going to force it through because I'm not taking this all back apart. The tag won't hurt anything if you leave it in there. It's just more of an annoyance that you now have to try to force a bolt in there. So that's all this is. It helps if there's a sharp tip on them because it'll just break through right away. It won't get stuck in the paper. Got a few chats. I'll read those here in just a second, guys. You guys see me keep dropping the socket because my ratchet broke and lost the ball inside there. So it might be time for me to finally upgrade my quarter drive ratchet. Had it a long time, so probably time for it to go. Just going along, snugking these up, making sure they're tight. Okay, so get caught up on some of the chats and then we'll wrap this up. I think I got 2 more bolts to put in, then we'll get on to the news. Octo said, at least you never gave up. No, yeah, I don't want to give up, guys. It doesn't help you if I give up on a project, because then you guys aren't seeing some of the frustration. You guys don't see how to work through those. So I have to keep pushing no matter how difficult it is. There's times that I back off of a repair. There was a time, actually, I believe it was 2 lives ago, when I did the belt tensioner, I did back off of that repair because I knew that I couldn't get the bolt out without doing more damage. So I opted, saying the part is still good. I'm just going to grease it up. I'm going to put everything back together with the new parts that I have. So there is a bit of knowing when to push forward and when to back off. And in a situation like this, we're pushing forward because we got to get it put together. On a deal like that, I knew that the belt tensioner was still okay. The bearing was still in good shape. So I chose to back off of it. That comes with experience, that comes with knowledge, that comes with knowing the parts and how far you can push it. Also, if you have warranties through factory, sometimes you're better off letting them fix their mistakes from OEM than it is for you to try to push through that repair. We have a warranty on champagne bubbles, so I'm not worried about that. If it comes down to it, they're going to go ahead and they're going to fix it. So, Super Cooper says, good day from South Africa. Good to have you in here, man. It's good to see people from other countries. I like chatting with all of you guys and kind of hanging out and chilling while I work on stuff. This is kind of what the Sunday live is all about. So I start at 1 o'clock and we just go until I feel like I'm at a good point where I can stop the project, and then we pick it up again next week. And Super Cooper again said, I just saw you working on a car. I'm a new content creator. I'm building a custom race car with tub and fiberglass. Make sure that you've done your homework on welding the frame together. I'm guessing if you're a content creator, you've probably done the homework, you know where to put the bars. It all depends on what you're doing with the race car, so that depends on the setup. People that do circle track, there's a different setup than people that do drag racing. Those bars for safety have to be located in different positions. So, yeah, I'm sure you're probably aware of that. I'm probably not telling you anything you don't know. Fiberglass is fun to deal with until it isn't. I give you props because fiberglass kind of sucks to work on. It's nasty, it's sticky. If you don't lay it down right, you're going to be using a lot of body filler to build it back up. So I don't play around with much fiberglass, but I have in the past. I usually try to stay away from it, but when you're doing something custom like that, you're going to be dealing with a lot of fiberglass. So let's get the last 2 bolts in it, and then let's get into the news, guys. There is some big news coming out of the Dodge camp. You guys are going to want to stick around for this because, yeah, there has been a massive change in their policies. And that we'll get into it in just a bit here. I want to get these 2 bolts in up in the corner here. What this does is kind of holds the bumper together. So this holds it together, and then there's stuff over here, but this kind of holds this corner down so that it doesn't pop back up, and it kind of keeps the trim in place as well. So it's important to have this corner one in here. That's why when I lost it, I knew that it's because it broke out from the deer hit. But we'll get those in there. Oh, it's good to see 14 of you guys in here. We have 26 likes, guys. That is awesome. We're better than 100% engagement. So if you just came into the chat, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Okay, so let's go around. Let's do a little inspection of the bumper now that we've got all the grill pieces in it. Basically, everything is attached to this bumper. Anthony, hi. Good to have you here on this Sunday. So, now that we're going to do our final inspection of this, what we're looking for is to make sure that this bumper is ready to put up onto the car. Meaning that we want to make sure that our trim is clipped in all the way around, that it didn't pop out while we started putting bezels on. Because if it popped out, we're going to have to deal with it. If it's in there and tight, then we're going to call it good. That one looked like it popped out. So, if that happens where it pops out like this, guys, you want to use stuff that is rated for plastic, such as door panel clip tools. And I'll take a look at it. If I think that I need to take it back apart, I will. But so far, everything does look like it's in there and down where it's supposed to. Everything's clipped in. We got these corners in. Got our bottom grill in, this on, this on. The only thing that we would have to contend with, guys, are the fender liner clips, like I said, and whatever clips are underneath. Now, I can show you guys those real quick before the news, if you guys want to do that. Otherwise, we can move into the news, and we'll go ahead and start aiming for the finish line here. Give me ones if you guys want me to put the rest of the clips on this. Two if you guys want me to get into the news. So, give me that real quick, and I'm going to be working on getting the old ones off. So ones if you guys want me to finish putting the clips on this, or two if you want me to just go right ahead and go into the news for today. Kelly says, I'm a carpenter from Central America. I working on a project right now while watching you. Love car shows also. Cool. Yeah, we do this every Sunday at 1 p.m. So, all right, so far we only got Bill. Everybody else in here. One if you guys want me to put the clips on this, or two if you guys want me to go right into the news. So let's get 3 more people to jump in there on that. We've got 14 of you in here, so let's get at least 4 of you to comment down below. Straight into the news or put the clips on. Okay, what do we got here? R replies, what are you? Are you a body man or a mechanic? I'm both. It's a long story. Okay, Kelly said 2. Let's get one more if you guys want to see the clips go on or go into the news. While we're doing that, I'm going to get into my back story a little bit. I've done this a few times here on the channel, but it's been a while. So some of the people that are mods are probably already know this story. But I started out working on cars when I was 13 years old. Started turning wrenches with my father. He was very big into the reason that I got into cars in the first place. He was more of a mechanic. He went to school for diesel mechanic, and him and I worked on cars up until pretty much he passed away, which was when I was 22. From that point on, I went into the auto body field. I spent about 3 years in auto body. After that, I decided I'm going to shift back, and I wanted to go more towards the performance side of things. So I started building my own cars. I started building street cars and race cars that were on the street, not a track. So we never had any safety stuff at all. From that, I started doing my own stuff. I started doing stuff for other people. I started 2 businesses. From the 2 businesses, I currently have one which you guys are seeing right now. And I do work on customer stuff from time to time, whether it be auto body or whether it be mechanical. I do both. And I do try to stay away from the heavy mechanical, like pulling motors and transmissions. But we do have a project coming up where I more than likely will be pulling the motor out of Crimson Vortec and rebuilding a motor for you guys right here on the channel. So Xander Takeover says, hi, good to have you in here. Kelly says, I have a 09 Chevy Uplander that has a small bumper cover or a similar bumper cover. Yeah, newer vehicles, probably everything since mid 2000 is going to have these kind of bumper covers. You're going to have a lot of similar stuff. You're going to have clips. You're going to have plastic holding plastic together. It's how the whole bumper setup works. It's very frustrating and it's a pain. So R says, sorry to hear about your loss, by the way, brother. Thank you. It happened a long time ago. Yeah, we're talking probably 2 decades ago now since my dad passed, but it was definitely a big loss to me because he kind of helped me get into this. And the reason I'm here doing what I'm doing, because I'm also giving back and showing other people how to do stuff. So it's my way of giving back. And we got one from, looks like Storm. Yeah, a little different spelling, but I got a 2020 or 2022, yeah, 2022 Camaro SS 1LE. Good car. I need to start putting some money into it. Okay, so if you're gonna start putting money into it, I'm certain yours has the supercharged engine in it. If it's the 1LE, do you have the manual car? Because that's going to make a difference. Once you start boosting the power of that car, you're going to need to put in a dual friction clutch that'll hold that pressure. If you're not and you have an automatic, you might be winding up having to rebuild that transmission. R says, nice story. I am an apprentice in the UK. I just completed my level 2. Jets are flying in here pretty quick. Started my level 3 yesterday. Not sure what the US equivalent is. I work at an independent BMW garage as a mechanic. So, here's the thing. In the US, we do ASE certified. So you can be ASE certified. I've seen a lot of people go for the certification, but they really don't know how to do things because they haven't really put their hands on it. If you're not putting your hands on actual repairs, you're not learning. Book learning isn't how this stuff is done. It has to be hands-on. It's the only way you're going to take the bumps, take the bruises. I've got scars all over my arms that show that I've been wrenching for many, many years. And many of them will never go away. And that's some of what this industry is. You're going to take your bumps and your bruises to figure out, even in this video, I sliced my finger open on a piece of plastic. That's what this industry is all about. We put all of our time, energy into it, and that's what this is. Let's see here. Storm said a 1, so he wants to see the clips go on. But I appreciate what body men do for real. Next door is a body shop, and they are great at what they do. Yeah, some body shops are really good. I learned from some very old veterans that knew how to do things old school. So I learned a lot of those tricks. That being said, I don't paint in here. So I do undercoating and things like that. But I won't set this up and paint a car in here. I'm not equipped for it. I don't have the equipment. But I do panel replacements, alignments, door pins and bushings, hinges, latches, stuff like that. And Storm says it is the one with the 6.2 no supercharger. Okay, so if it's got no supercharger, you got some wiggle room. You might be able to consider, and it is the 10-speed auto. So do a little bit of your homework before you start buying parts, but there's a potential that you could upgrade your intake system and do the supercharger setup. Just know that if you go that route, you're going to have to go to HP Tuners, get an unlocked PCM so that you can retune the car. You're going to have to work with HP Tuners to get it tuned though. So you're going to do a bunch of data pulls, send them the info. They're going to send you a tune via email that you will upload to the computer. You will have to buy a laptop and the connector for it, and you're going to have the software and credits. So just know that process gets kind of spendy. The other option is you could do a cam, but you're in the same ballpark if you do that because you still have to tune. If you change anything on those cars, they're so sensitive that you have to do the tune. So once you start doing anything to it, you're going to be tuning that car. One LE sport package option, yeah, which means you've got the very aggressive suspension in it. So some of those came with a supercharger, some of them didn't. It all depends on how it was ordered from the factory. So move over here because I need to get my phone plugged in because if it dies, I'll lose the stream. So we had two yeses and two no's go into the news, and we had one yes. So I'm probably going to shift into the news here, guys. Yeah, I agree. UK, the apprentice framework usually follows work at the garage and then getting day release to go to a training facility. We call it college in the UK. Yeah, we call it college too, like UTI or something like that. So that's very similar. College is like high school, I guess. Yeah, they're basically training you to start working in the industry. And honestly, you're going to need that hands-on time. That's going to be the most valuable to you because that's where you're going to really learn what's going on. Nice work, man. Thank you. And Storm said, I'm going to go all in on the motor, by the way. You heard of Pride Performance ported initials or internals. So I've heard of them a little bit. Here's the thing. Do your homework on all of them and make sure you consult an engine builder before you start ripping the motor out and start tearing that motor down. And again, remember that the minute that you tear down that motor and you start doing anything to it, you're going to need to get a way to get an unlocked PCM. So make sure you get a hold of HP Tuners. That's going to be a big one for you because without having an unlocked PCM and a way to tune that car, anything you bolt to it isn't going to give you more power. Oftentimes, if people throw cams in a car and they haven't tuned it, it runs horrible. So make sure that you get in touch with them and figure out the proper steps. They'll help you blueprint it and set it up so that once you start turning wrenches till the time that you're finished, everything will work together. Because if it doesn't work together, it's not going to run. Storm says, ported, I take cam heads and then go into the engine. Yeah, so if you're just doing that kind of port and polish and then you're going to start messing with cams, you are definitely going to need that unlocked PCM. Okay, guys, so we're going to filter into the news quick. I'm going to pull this up on my other setup. That way I can kind of look at it. Like I said, I want to get my other setup going. I want this going for my live, but I got to work with Streamlabs in order to make sure that I'm getting this to work right. Let's see here. I'm going to go into my news source. So Jeep and Domestic show off the new Wrangler rag tops. So basically the tent top to the Jeep Wrangler. This was really popular back in the day. We saw a lot of these, 80s stuff like that. People were using a Jeep for off-road. Well, sometimes they would go so far off-road that they needed a way to kind of camp out for the night. So we started seeing a few of these. Now we're starting to see them make a comeback. This wasn't something that was normal. So it was kind of a unique deal. So it's interesting to see it come back. Next, the big news out of the Dodge market, guys. This is huge. This is massive. So all of us have come together and Dodge has really ate the bullet here. So the new Dodge Charger electric Daytona is done. They are officially killing it and not bringing it to production. It's gone. They have talks in the works to redo the Charger back to a four-door car. They're also looking at bringing back the V8 options. These are going to massively change the industry. The reason this is happening is the president of Stellantis was the one who gutted the company. Guys, I've talked about this in ad nauseum on some of my reels and even in some of my other videos. Every time I do talk about Dodge, I take a kick in the teeth when it comes to my views. Make sure you guys hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, because anytime I do new stuff against Dodge or highlighting bad things that happen, I usually take a beating for it. But this one came straight from them, straight from their mouth. They are killing off the Charger, the two-door EV Charger. There hasn't been enough demand for it. People don't want it. So they're going to shut it down and not put it into production next year. Next year, they will have the Huracan motor in it as an option. They're talking about bringing back a V8 option. Now, whether they bring back just a 5.7 or whether they bring back one of the Hellcat engines, that remains to be seen. And more than likely, we're going to see a redesign of the body. So more than likely, this car is going to go away completely. We won't see the Charger, the EV Charger that we're seeing now. They're probably going to revert it back to a four-door car, sedan style, and then they're going to start playing around with engine combinations. But this hit the news cycle this week. This was a big one. It really kind of sent a shock to the EV world as far as people just aren't buying these things, and for good reason. I've talked in ad nauseum about how EVs are not the way to go, especially after a 10-year mark, because the batteries are at the point of replacement. The batteries cost more than the value of the car. So, scrolling through the news here to bring you guys up to speed on anything. So here's something, China's half-priced Kia EV9. So basically, they're trying to compete with the Kia EV9, which is another EV, and again, they're noticing price problems. So not much of a surprise on that side of things from them. So next one is Jaguar is rebranding their rebrand. Basically meaning that their whole branding setup that they had was just trash. So when they tried to rebrand and go for a more futuristic look, people just didn't buy it. It wasn't jiving with the public. They didn't care for it. So they're going to have to rebrand yet again. Scrolling through the news here for you guys. So they're trying to use Apple Auto CarPlay for their entire dashboard system. Basically, this comes down to almost a subscription type thing like they've been talking about for the last couple of years. If they do this, I really do think that it's going to hurt whatever sales that of whatever vehicle that they're selling. Anytime somebody's got to pay a subscription to use their car, they're just not going to buy that car. They would rather buy something a few years older, drive it, and not have to pay a subscription just to drive it out of their driveway or use the features that the car is built with. So again, another negative side to the technology side of things. All right, so you Ford fans, we got one here for you. Fords, they are recalling over 250,000 Ford Expeditions and Lincoln Navigators due to brake issue. If you have one of these, make sure you get it in, make sure you get it checked out. Brakes are not something you can mess around with. So if they do a brake recall or an airbag recall, you're forced to take it in. Just try to be careful that the dealership doesn't scam you into buying a new car and trying to trade that one off. That is a very common scam. I really do think both Ford and Chevy are at the point that they're trying to push this. Both of them have massive recalls right now. GM has a massive recall on their 6.2. The Chevy 6.2 liter V8 engines in their pickups are having camshaft failure issues. If you take it in, they're going to look at it and see if you do have a failure, then you're going to get a replacement engine. On the crankshaft journal is breaking. So if you don't, what they're doing is they're changing the oil and they're putting a different viscosity oil in it so that they can give you the vehicle back. Unfortunately, this means in the long run, that engine's going to fail. When it fails, you're going to eat the cost. So a lot of people are dumping the 6.2s. And here's the other thing. If it's traded to a dealership, there is a stop sale on those trucks. So if they go to a dealership, they're supposed to stop sale them and not let them go back out to the public because they don't want to eat the cost of an engine on a recall. So that's a big one out of the GM camp. So the new EPA chief wants to eliminate auto start stops. This is a huge one, guys. This is one of the most annoying things that you'll ever have to deal with on a newer car is the auto start stop. Come up to a stop sign, it shuts off. Then it has to turn itself back on before you can take off. There's massive throttle lag. It doesn't respond. It takes a little bit to wake up. It's super annoying. So EPA chief wants to eliminate this feature. And if they do, it's really going to make a difference. Trying to get back to the beginning here. So apparently Fiat wants to expand their appeal of their only car that they sell. So that's something that's coming up here. Thank you, Aim High, for clearing that out. And yeah, we're up to last week on the tariff stuff. I'll touch a little bit on the tariffs, but then after that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I've been with you guys for almost 4 hours now, so I do kind of want to wrap this up. Got a lot done today. This bumper is ready to go on. That's a good thing. Next week, we're going to be putting the bumper onto Malibu steel. We're going to get the bumper on it, so this car is drivable. So we have that coming up. The tariff thing, we are going to see a little bit of a crunch on the tariff side of things. Some of these dealerships are going to try to push it so that they can make more profit. There's been news already about other companies, even grocery companies, that are starting to jack up prices, blaming it on tariffs when they don't have that issue going on. So you do got to kind of buyer beware. I would say right now is probably not the best time to buy a new car. It would be better to hold off a year, let the market settle down. But if you need to buy one, sometimes a 2 or 3 year old car is a much better option because you don't take the hit on the depreciation of driving a new car off the lot. If you live in an area that you can't get a new car though, and you're going to go the new route, make sure you guys get good financing, meaning you should probably get pre-approved before going into that dealership. That way you go in with your money and you're able to negotiate harder on a new car. That will help save you money. Plus, then you can shop around a little bit and take your time to get the best interest rate possible. So I've got some tips coming up. If you guys want me to do a video on financing for cars, I can do that again. I think I'm coming up on that here probably in the next month or so anyway, that I'd be doing a video on it. Usually around the 4th of July is when a lot of car sales happen, so I try to do that video around that time to give you guys kind of the heads up on it. But I think that's all I got for the news. This is all I got for pretty much the repair today. Guys, it's been an awesome stream. You guys have really engaged. The likes are up. This is awesome. We're going to continue to do this for next week. We're going to keep working and building, trying to do more and more. Our goal is to get the merch store up by the end of the year. I got to get a certain subscriber count to get there. We're working on it. Also, I do need to get this car done. Like I said, I need to start driving this one and park Crimson Vortec. I got a bunch of small projects I want to do on that for you guys. So we've got Crimson Vortec coming up. We also have a few smaller projects that'll probably get sprinkled in there throughout that time. We're also going to wake up the Silver Swine here at some point. We're going to get it out of storage. We're going to start getting ready to drive it for the summer. So I'm going to work on getting that going here, hopefully in the next week or so. Our main goal is this. So next week, I really do want to kind of wrap this up, get the bumper on it, and go from there. I'll give you guys one more shot of the completed bumper. So there we are. Grille's inserted, badges on it, license plate frame on it. It's as good, if not better, than what I had on there last time. So, guys, I want to say thank you for all your support. Today has been awesome. Make sure you guys, if you haven't, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, ring that notification bell so you get notified when I go live, which is now every Sunday at 1 p.m. And I'll see you on the next one.